Hey everyone. Okay, I am back. This is the second video on the retreat that I attended, and this is actually all of the projects that I made or started because I didn't finish them all, and I didn't start some of them. So let me see. Do I have? Okay, this has it. I was trying to use that to block my glare. Okay, so if you watch the other video, which I think is going to go first, showing all the swag that I got, that's all the stuff that they gave to us as an attendee. Now, if you attended virtually, you had different things in your packets. So just know that she had both virtual and in-person attendees for this one. I think this is her first in-person one that she organized. I would say for a first time in-person event, she did very well in terms of organization. Now, some of the timing was a little off, but sometimes that happens. So you just have to adjust for that. But in terms of being able to adjust for those things, I think she did really well. That's just my opinion. And that's what you're going to get from me, because I can't give you anybody else's opinion. I can only give my own. Okay, so this is the retreat that I attended. And if you are interested in attending one of her retreats, if you go to Copictopia.com, you can look at what she has. Now, Copic is inside the name of her company and her retreats, okay? So if you are not a Copic colorist and aren't familiar with it, then I would say maybe this isn't for you, okay? If you're just a beginning Copic colorist, I would say this might be difficult for you to complete the majority of the projects. Not all of the projects involved Copic coloring. Let me just say this one more time. Not all of the projects we did involved Copic coloring, but the majority of them did, and you will see them in my project. And that's why I say that, because as a beginner, if I were sitting there as a beginner and I know what it was like, I would have been very behind and frustrated and feeling sad because I probably would not have completed my cards or would like the results. So that's the thing, is I think this is more geared towards somebody who's probably been coloring is probably at the mid-level. That's just my opinion now. So some of you guys can flame me if you want, but that's my opinion. I would not want to have attended this if I was just starting out with my markers and learning how to color. I really loved attending some of the other things that I've attended that have really helped my skills. I don't want to mention those here because that's not what this is about. So if you're into Copic coloring and you like doing projects with Copics, this is for you. And if you're practiced at it. So she did give me a thank you card. She made these and she hand wrote the inside of the card. So that was very nice of her. I can appreciate that. Here are some of her other retreats that I think they're virtual, because the next in-person I think is next year, which I have a card for. So she gave us these. And if you go on her website, look, there's a QR code. See, you can register. If you hold your phone up to that QR code, it'll take you to the website. And I think it's probably going to go to each one of these directly. This is her Christmas retreat. I think there's a lot of cards in this one. And this one's in September, October. I might do this one. I don't know. But she sends you all of the supplies other than the Copic colors and stuff like that, if you're going to color them. But she sends you the paper supplies, I should say, to complete this in a kit. And see, one weekend, 50 cards. That's a lot. I can't do 50 cards. I don't know. In one thing. I don't even need 50 cards anymore. So birthday stamp camp. So this is a birthday themed one. This one's January 20th and the 21st. This is virtual, I think. And here's the QR code for that if you're interested. And then the last one I have is, this is the hybrid one now. So those two were virtual. This one's hybrid. So there's an in-person element to this one. And this one was in... this year's one was in Burlington, North Carolina. I live in the state of North Carolina, so it was easy for me to get to. I could drive. The majority of people flew in. I believe. Anyway, make a splash retreat, and this is the one that is going to be all underwater sort of themed. So you can see the mermaid tails. They could be fish, I don't know. So if you're interested in that, here is a QR code for that. Okay, let's get on to the projects, because I'm sure you're probably wondering, what did you do while you were sitting there? Well, we didn't do these two things. Okay, these two projects we did not get to because we ran out of time. In a group setting, I think there was 18 of us. I don't remember how many there was in the room, but it was full of people. It wasn't packed, so you were like sitting, too closely. I probably had a 6 foot table to myself, and I was all the way up front in front of the class, right in front of the instructor. Not right in front, but off to the side from the instructor. But I was all the way to the front of the class, and there was 3 of us, and then there was 3 behind us, and 3 behind them, 3 or 4, I don't know. So that's kind of how it was laid out, and there was another set of people on the other side of the room. So it was probably 18 people, I thought it was. But so she limits the registration to in-person, and then she limits also the virtual. And that's because you all have to be kind of together. You have to kind of move together to the next thing that's part of the lesson. So because you have people at different levels, and you have people who talk, and then you have people who don't talk, and some people talk over the instructor while they're trying to teach, and they miss some of the information that you need, then they have to stop the whole class to ask their question because they weren't listening. Yes, we had one of those. So I'm just letting you know that if you've never attended a class like this, you have the same problem that you have when you're sitting in a regular classroom setting, right? You've got some talkers and you've got some non-talkers. So we did not get to these 2 cards here. Shaker card with tool, featuring exclusive digital stamp Bunny with Beach Ball from Amanda Jane Designs. I'm just reading the top. That's what this was. And Christina was to teach this class on day 3. She has a pre-recorded video for this so that we can watch and rewatch and do it with her while she shows us techniques. And then this one, and it's not available to the public. It's available only to the folks that attended. Sorry. This one is Invisible Sand Shaker. Oh, this one actually has sand in it. You probably can't see it. Hold on. Let me see if I can get it to... Yeah, it's got sand in it. See that? She made a shaker card with sand in it. And it actually covers the whole front of the card. So that's what this is. She gives you all the supplies for it. You probably need the glue to put it all together, but it tells you what you need and what markers you're going to use. So that's the nice thing, is like it tells you the supplies, what you're using. It tells you what markers you need. And then if there is an image to be colored, and I'll show you, you will see those as well. Okay, I'm going to start with these over here. Some of these. This, I believe, is the first class we did. And I posted this card up on my Instagram. This was technically difficult. It wasn't hard to color because it's a CC Designs image, and their images are always pretty easy. Their faces are really big, their head's big, the body's really small. So it's not a lot to color, but if you'll notice, I don't really color people anymore. It's just not a thing that I enjoy so much because it takes more to color the skin tone and the hair. It's a lot more, difficulty level is higher. For me. Some people are really good at it. But the technical difficulty level is in the fact that you had to put this together the way we did. Okay. If you'll notice, she glides back and forth. And there is no slit that she is gliding on. She's moving on her own. Why? Because we used magnets. So I can take her right off. There's no hole back there. Oh, I never showed you the stencil in my swag video. There is a stencil for the pool that we used, and Christina made that herself for everyone and handed that out. So she's got magnets on her, and there are magnets underneath where the glider is. Okay, so when you pop her back on, you just have to find the magnets again or the magnets, let the magnets find themselves. And that's where the difficulty was for a lot of people. Did you see how small those magnets were? They're pretty small. So you can see it says floating by to say hi. We didn't have to stamp any of this. All we had to do was color it and fussy cut it and then assemble the whole card. And they showed us how to do that. My pool is upside down too, by the way. This little girl is supposed to be over here. This girl is supposed to be over here. And she's supposed to slide back and forth over here on this side. But because I glued my pool down, upside down, well, you know what happened. So all of the other pieces were cut. We just had to assemble, you know, glue them together and all that stuff. But it's a really cute card. It's on a card base. And this card is staying with me. So that's our first card that we made. The second, I'm not going to do these all in order. Yeah, I won't do these all in order. This is another class we did. This one was another Christina card. She had us assemble the card first, and then we colored the girl and the sun. And like I said, she's teaching you how to do all these things. And I have not colored hair in so long. Not that I forgot, but I'm just not practiced at it. So, yeah. Excuse my coloring skills for the girl's hair. The face turned out okay. I actually, is not this the one? No, this is not the one. So we assembled the whole card except for the girl and the sun, and then we colored the girl, we colored the sun and attached them both onto the card base. So this is a cute little image. This is actually an image that she's selling in her store. So she started a store, and this little girl is designed after I guess chibi characters that her daughter likes. And her daughter is also involved in the company too. She was there the whole retreat helping her mom. So I want to say her daughter was 15. She's turning 16. So really, really cute. I think. I don't know. Anyway, she's pretty young still. Cute, huh? Well, maybe she's not that old, because I don't think at that age girls are into dolls still. Maybe they are. I don't know. I never played with those dolls. Okay, here is another card. This one was taught by Christine as well. Now that I think about it. And again, these are not in a particular order, other than that first one was the first card. I don't remember when this one was. There's an insert here. We did some masking. There's an insert there. This is an image from Whimsy Stamps. I want to tell you that. And so she showed us how to do this Starry Night piece. This is done with oxide inks and white paint. And then this is Copic colored, the ocean part. And so is the sand and the penguin and the fire. And this white paint is the same white paint that's in the sky. And we did a technique for that. Now this is supposed to light up. So I've never done one of these cards. I've never done a light up card before. And it's supposed to light up. I don't know if it's going to work, because I tried this with my husband last night. I showed him all my cards. I tried this with him and it didn't light up. But the fire is supposed to have a little light behind it. And when you press the penguin's butt, it's supposed to line up, but it's not. So it's using those chibi lights. You know, it has the electric tape that you affix to it, and there's a little light component. But yeah, you're supposed to be able. Oh, there it is. You see? I'm squeezing his butt and the log, and that I placed my light a little bit too far to the left. It should have been right where the center of the fire was, but you get what you get. So really cute. See, he's roasting a marshmallow over the fire flame. There you go. So I've never done one of these. That was the first time I've done one. And that was fun. And also colored I know how to do lighting. I just don't do it very often. To do the campfire so that it's reflecting off of the penguin's face and his jacket. You know, all of these surfaces that the light is hitting. So that was fun to refresh my memory on how to do that. I don't do it often enough. All right, let's do this one. This is a no-line coloring flamingo. And so we walked through that. This was on day one. So this was this the second card we did? Oh, this was the third class. No, second class it looks like. Let's see. We did get extra images of these, by the way. We don't just have the one. So this is no line coloring with Copics, and the technique for the rings in the water around the flamingo. So when I say no line, you can't see any stamped lines like you can with the, say, the penguin, for instance. There's a black line. That's the ink from the stamp. But this one, you can't see any of that. So I've done no line coloring. It's not my thing. I'm okay with seeing the lines. And you'll see there's an image that I'm going to show you. We had the option to no line color it, and I was like, no, I'm good with the lines. And I didn't do, because she gave it to us both ways. So there's the flamingo, and this was all in the packet, so I just added it all to finish the card. Okay, and each of these has, again, it has extra images, extra card bases, and the colors that we were using to color. Okay, and we knew beforehand which Copic colors we needed to bring with us, so that's good. Let me show you the fun tag that Amador taught us to make. So I went to this retreat because a friend of mine, Kathy, had found out there was an open spot still and said, you know, go sign up if you want to attend. I'm going. She switched from virtual to in person. So, and I haven't seen my friend Kathy in years, literally, because of COVID and other things. She doesn't live in North Carolina. So when she said she was going, I said, okay, I'll go. And oh, by the way, Amador is teaching the class. I have never met Amador. If you guys follow him, he hasn't been doing a lot of YouTube videos. I think he mostly does Instagram posts. So I've known, quote unquote, known Amador for years as a crafter because I watched a lot of his videos over the years. And when I say years, I mean like, I think I started my channel 10 or 11 years ago, somewhere in that range. So from the beginning, I probably watched his videos. He's an amazing crafter. He does a lot of 3D things, but he Copic colors. So he's been doing more of that as well because he's been on several design teams. You know, people are on design teams. I find it so funny because sometimes people get a little big-headed for what they do. This is all card making, everyone. So just let's not stress about it. It's card making. It's a fun thing that you like to do as your hobby. Some are good at it. Some are better at it. Some are just okay. Be okay with where you're at, because if it makes you happy doing this, then that's the part that you should take away from it. There's always going to be somebody better. If you want to get better at what you do, you have to practice it, right? You have to take classes or you have to learn how to do it better. I have enjoyed Amador's work for many years, but I'd never met him in person. So when I found out he was teaching in class, I was like, oh, you're only going to be an hour and a half away from me. I'm going to meet you. So he did not know when I showed up that I was in the class. So Amador, if you're watching this video, it was so nice to meet you. I'm so glad that we had a chance to actually meet in person. There are other people, other crafters out there that I would love to meet in person. Maybe one day it'll happen. Who knows? But I had a lot of fun. Here is the tag that Amador had us make. Again, he showed us the techniques to color in all of the things we colored. The die cuts were provided to us, and so was, you know, all the other pieces. So this is a shaker card. Really fun, tropical one. So again, he used that Sassy Club stamp for this one. So his card was really fun. Well, so was the tag. So let me show you the card, because the card is really fun. And if you have already seen my Instagram post, you've seen the card. So he showed us how to assemble this. And again, it uses the same stamps set. This is how I colored mine. He did have, I used a different parrot than what he used on his. I just elected to use a different one. And I think he had an extra drink on his that I did not use. And an extra stand. I didn't use a second parrot stand because I wanted to put him on the tiki sign. So what's so special about this? Well, this one lights up too, but using a different mechanism for lighting. See, this works really well because this got a switch on it. Isn't this cute? Guys, I'm not giving this card away because I can't. I just can't. So this one is strung with tiki lights, or fairy lights, as you call them. And it's very dimensional because of the battery operated lighting. Isn't that cute? Okay. So to see them together, this is the other parrot he actually had as color. It was supposed to be on the card. I chose the other one because I had already used him. So I just wanted to use a different parrot. Mine looks a little bit different than how he assembled his too, which is totally fine, right? It's card making. You can do whatever you want if you want to do something different. So again, they gave us all the pieces. We had to fussy cut after we colored, but these images were pretty easy to fussy cut. So that's another thing that takes time, right? When you're making during a class. Okay, stickers. Did I show you the stickers? Christina gave us those stickers. Heading down the home stretch. Yeah, let me show you this. This is the Stampscapes one. Now, like I said, I've never done this before, and we were not making cards in the session. We were just doing the stamping. This is how mine turned out. So with this stamp right here, right? This is one of the main stamps. The clouds are one of the main stamps, and then there's some water stamp too. And then there's some tall trees too. So with those different stamps, you could make a whole scene. So you'll notice, if I hold it closely, the clouds part is not one big stamp. It's actually multiple stampings of the stamp in different positions. So just so you know that. It's not this huge image. It's like a smaller cloud stamp. Okay? And so what I tried to do was, there's the clouds. So this is StazOn ink on glossy paper. And then this is dye ink on the glossy paper. So I've got the water ripples in there, and then the tall trees are kind of stamped over and over and over again on top of each other. I was trying to fix this, and that's why it's lighter right here, because whatever. So that's one of the images. So it kind of has all the same theme, but you'll notice mine are all kind of different. So this is the one, just one stamped image of the things. And then there's the clouds again, but the clouds look different. Notice the clouds look different because they are, again, little sections of the stamp positioned differently. So you get a different result. Here's another one. I cut out the sky because I didn't like it. And I didn't finish that. But these are not finished images either. Like, he taught us all these techniques on how to, you know, add more color and all that kind of jazz. If you'll notice, I did keep this so you'd see it. This is 3 stampings of the cloud stamp. So this one, and then this one. But I turned the stamp when I was stamping it. So I could actually go all the way around if I wanted to, or I could, I don't know if it looks good. No, it doesn't really look good because the billows are, you know, up as opposed to down. So you could probably put something else in here to fill the card. I just wanted to try it out, but he had some amazing things. This is through Stampscapes. Kevin Nakagawa, I think is his name. But there were some amazing creations. I just don't want to get into something new because I have so many things I already do that would just be too much for me, I think. Let me show this is the last Copic image that I have to share, colored. This one was supposed to be taught as she taught it as a no-line coloring, but I didn't do it. I did mine with lines because I was tired by then. I was like, let me just color her using her techniques, and then I'm fine with the lines. So you can see there's the black lines that are in there. We have a stamped image that has no lines on it, the faint lines for no line coloring. And then, you know, as soon as you start the ink, you lose the lines. So she showed us how to color this. I had a lot of trouble with this image. You know why? My ink was blopping out of my markers because I filled them. And so I had lots of issues with my markers. One of them I could cut off because it was right at the edge of her hair. The other one blopped right on her side of her face. After the face was like pristine, it was like looking good until I blopped on it with my ink because I was trying to fix something. And it made me lose some parts, so I had to go back with a darker color, but well. So this is a Some Odd Girl stamp. She always has the big eyes and cankles. You can't see them here, but for some reason, whenever the artist draws her images, they have cankles. Okay, last one. This one was taught via Zoom by a Serb, Susan Serb. She is actually in Germany, so English is not her first language, but she spoke just fine. And she taught us how, and I've done this before, to distress ink color CC Designs image. So here she is. The problem I have with this one is they had the Zoom up on an overhead projector, and they had to turn the lights down in order for us to color her or to do all of the work. Because it was darker in there, I couldn't see what I was doing for some things, like the drop shadow, the darker parts. I couldn't see what I was doing because it was too dark in there for me to see that, even though I was putting it in. And, obviously this is only my second or third time doing something like this. So the first time you do it, you just have to learn how to control the water, and because it's similar to watercoloring because you're using ink. But this uses distress ink, not the oxides, the regular distress ink. So they we didn't have to bring ink pads. They just gave us a smoosh of ink pad across a piece of plastic. So she goes step by step on how to do this. But of course, mine doesn't look as good as it should. But if you're interested in that kind of thing, her name is Susan, Susen, and her last name is Serb, SRB. There are no vowels in her last name. I don't know if she probably has a YouTube channel. I don't know. But she's really cute. This is a really fun technique if you don't have Copics, right? So this is a non-Copic one. If you have the distress inks and you want to try this out, you need some really fine brushes because there's some really small spaces and you don't really need a lot of water. So she did give us really nice real hair brushes, but apparently you don't need that. Synthetic brush is what Susan uses usually. And you'll need some, paper that can withstand the water. So yeah, that was it. Those are the classes that I actually finished. I have 2 that I can do on my own, and we have video access to all of these. All of these were recorded, so that's the other thing. If you want to attend one of hers, even if you have to step out of the room or you have to get up to go to the bathroom or whatever, something happens, she's got these all recorded. So if you want to learn the technique again or refresh yourself, you have access to the recordings for the videos. So that's it for now. If you have questions about this, you can leave a question in the comment section and I'll try and get back to you. I think that's all I have to share. I enjoyed it. Loved seeing everyone, meeting new people. Instructors were great. What can I say? I had a good time. It's a good thing to do when you don't want to, if you want something to do that weekend and you want to try new things. So anyway, talk to you guys later. Bye for now.